everybody, and welcome here in Brno in Czech Republic at the Ice Climbing European Cup, the second one of this year. The first one was taking place last weekend at the Žilina at Slovakia, and now we are in Brno in Czech Republic. We have already started with the introduction of our competitors, so I'm gonna just shortly read the start list. For the women in the finals, we're gonna see Marion Thomas from France, Maja Sustar-Habjan from Slovenia, Haruko Takeuchi from Japan, Aneta Loužická from Czech Republic, Juliet Bergman from France, Maria Šoltésová from Slovakia, Marian van der Steen from Netherlands, Olga Kosek from Poland, and Franziska Schönböchler. I'm sorry for the pronunciation. And for the men's, we are going to see Dennis van Hoek from Netherlands, Marco Guna from Slovenia, David Bufford from Romania, Gabriel Bagnoli from Italy, Masato Nakaima from Japan, Jan Mondezelewski from Poland, Basil Fetet from France, Benjamin Boshart from Switzerland, and then Virgil Devin from France. So I'm gonna be commentating for the whole evening. My name is Nicola and I'm here with Willis.
Hi everybody, my name is Will Morris. I'm a senior competitor on the GB ice climbing team, but I'm not competing today, so you've got me here to help commentate.
Yeah, I'm really glad that we have Willis here because first, he's a native speaker, unlike me, so I hope he's gonna help me sometimes. And he's also the competitor, as he said. I'm not, so I don't really see that much into the moves and stuff like this.
Yeah, hopefully I can give a little insight to what the competitors are actually going through as they climb, and I guess I can kind of help out with describing some of the moves and some of the holds, because a lot of the techniques and stuff in ice climbing are very different from probably what most people have seen. So yeah.
Okay, so right now what's going on?
So all the competitors will have a kind of allotted time to come out and view the routes. So effectively they get to spectate and see all the holds from the ground. You can see a lot of them here. They're jotting down on their notepads, they'll be thinking of what the holds are, what the moves are, and it just gives all the competitors a chance to come out, view the route from the ground. Obviously they've not seen any of the holds yet because all the holds have been covered up through the day, and that gives everybody a really even chance at the finals, because it's climbed on site, unlike in the qualifiers where you are watching all the other competitors. So I guess it's a flash when you're climbing in the qualification, whereas now they'll be on-siting. So once they finish this spectating, they will then be put back into isolation, where they won't be able to view each other climbing, and they'll come out one by one to climb.
Yeah. And you've been here since the morning, so you've seen the qualifiers. How was the qualifiers?
Yeah, so qualifiers was intense today. So Brno's always a hard competition. It's 5 routes, which is quite unusual for the European Cup. Usually we have 2, maybe maximum 3 routes as qualifiers. But yeah, Radek, the head route setter, he likes to have a big show and lots of routes. So it's a long day of competing. The routes tend to be quite long. There was a lot of competitors, so the time limit was really small. Yeah. And so these guys have really already tried a lot of climbing. So it's going to be interesting to see how tired they are when they go on this really long finals route.
Yeah, and because the route is that long, the time limit is going to be a bit longer, right? It's going to be 8 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. So they're going to have 8 minutes, which I think is pretty realistic. Don't get me wrong, they'll still have to move really fast. But yeah, the qualifiers, the time limit for some of the routes was only 3.5 minutes, and you're climbing, near enough 25 meters. So it was a fast competition today, and the guys that you see in front of you and the ladies, they are up in the top 8 and 9 because they are able to not only climb hard but also climb hard at speed. So it's kind of part of the game in competition ice climbing.
And they have different routes in the beginning, the women and men, but like roughly in the half, it goes into one route, right?
Yeah, exactly. So this finals route's kind of a combination. Often you'll have different finals, but I think with the competition where it is in Europe at the moment, it's almost similar kind of abilities between men and women, which is really, really cool. So yeah, we've got a slightly different start for men and women. The women are going to be starting on the left-hand route, which, if you can see on the screen, is the green rope. The rope at the moment just shows the competitors which quick draws they're going to be clipping on the way up. And then the men are going to be starting on the right-hand wall, which will then join in and they'll meet in the middle. Obviously not climbing at the same time, it'll be one at a time, but the routes meet in the middle, just before the roof. So each competitor will have the same finish regardless of whether they're male or female.
That might be interesting to watch, like how the women are comparing to men gonna climb.
Which is so cool. Yeah, super strong. She climbs with such confidence. You know, she's got so much experience. So she'll definitely be up there as a favorite to win today. And I guess having the confidence of a win last week will really help her. And then I guess coming after her, not far behind, you've got Marion. Marion Thomas used to compete, I think it was pre-pandemic. I saw a lot of her climbing really hard, World Cup climber, World Cup finalist, and yeah, she took a couple of years off, I think. I don't think she was about much in the scene last year, but then this year she qualified first last week and came out really hot on the heels of Marianne, and it was super close. It was one clip difference, but then yeah, you'd look at those two, but don't get me wrong, any of those ladies on that top 9 sheet could totally take the win here. There's lots of strong ladies there.
Yeah, I've heard that we can see a lot of people from the World Cups here.
Yeah, I think especially this year, you know, we've got a little less amounts of World Cups this year, and I guess a lot of competitors, you know, it can feel like a lot of hard work for all year to train, and then really you have 3 competitions in 1 month. So I think the Europeans are becoming more and more popular, and I've definitely seen that this year, seeing a larger representation from all over the world. Okay, they're not European, they can't win a European Cup technically, but you know, there's been a strong performance today from the Japanese team. The USA team had some competitors. Yeah, it's really cool to see people coming from all over, and it really shows what the level's like here in Europe.
And who are the favorites for the men?
The men, so, you know, again, it's such a strong competition. As you can see in the scores, you know, there wasn't a lot dividing them. Last week, the winner was Dennis Van Hoek, which is awesome because last week was a double. Both the Dutch climbers took the gold, and they're actually man and wife, which is awesome. So it was really cool to see Dennis and Mariana both lift the trophy to take a gold last week. Dennis is super strong, tends to always make European Cup finals, so he's definitely a favorite, although he did qualify in 9th today, only just making it through, so you never really know what's going to happen. You've got Virgil Devon. He's super strong. I think he won the European Cup last year overall, and took many stages. He's climbed so well this week, and last week in Jelena, I think he was just unlucky the way he popped off the hold in the final. If anything, I think he deserved the win last week. It just had an unlucky final, so you never really know what's going to happen, but he's definitely a favorite up there for taking the win. But again, there's names all through this sheet here that I'm looking through and going, yeah, you know, he could win for sure. Benjamin Bossard wasn't here last week. I think he came 2nd in the World Championships, so you know, super strong Swiss climber, super fit, moves really nicely, and again, like all the Swiss climbers, moves really fast, so I think this route actually might suit him. So to be honest, I don't know who to put my money on.
Before this stream, I just talked to Aneta and asked her the same questions, and she said, like, you know, anything can happen in the finals because it's so sketchy, especially the competition route, that you can pop off like any moment. So
yeah, you know, I guess all competitions in any sport, anything can happen really, you know. It doesn't take much to not perform at your best. But in competition ice climbing, it literally, it can be millimeters of the hold that you're holding onto, and that really is a game of such small margins, and all it takes is one minor mistake. And you know, some people say, oh, maybe you just get lucky or you don't. You know, there's a lot of skill, and you'll see that as these guys climb. That they really know the holds, they really know how to use them, and they really know how to move so that their ice axes stay exactly where they need to be. But yeah, you can have somebody that's performed all day and they come out and they fall off the first move. There's many people that remember last year in Brno, the first European Cup. I qualified for finals. I was the first person out. first hold, and I slipped.
Ah.
And you know, it's one of these awful things. You just have to take it, and you have to go, hey, that happens. But I think a lot of the competitors, we all know it happens, so we all kind of support each other. It can be really hard to take.
Yeah.
But you just kind of get behind each other, and once that's happened once, you learn from it.
Yeah.
You know, you slow down, you think about what went wrong, and you just have to forget about it and move on, because it will happen to someone else next time, and hopefully not you again.
Yeah.
So you just have to keep climbing, and you have to keep trying to push, no matter how sketchy each hold feels.
Yeah, this is crazy. Like, you have just one try, and once you leave the floor, it's like all out.
Yeah, and it's such an intimidating place to be. You know, you've climbed all day, you're tired. You know, especially the competitions here. You know, it's dark, it's cold. Sometimes it's snowing. Last year the weather was awful. I think these guys are going to be a bit luckier today. But yeah, you come out there, everybody's watching you, and you know when you first kick that plywood and you take your feet off the ground, that's it. There's no returning.
Yeah.
You're either going to come off flying on the rope, or you're going to be totally victorious and stand, you know, both axes in that top hold having won. So it'll be really, really interesting to see how everybody copes with the nerves, especially after a long day of qualification today.
And you said that last year was snowing. Is it different when it's snowing? Like, are the holds more slippery, or?
I don't necessarily think, you know, obviously we're climbing with ice axes. They're designed to be able to deal with that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But no, it definitely makes a difference to the way that you can perform. You know, when it's cold, your hands just seize up. It's not like rock climbing that once you get warm, that's it, you're good. You know, you're holding onto a big piece of cold metal or carbon fiber, and that can totally soak up all that energy in your hands. And again, the snow, yeah, you get wet hands, you get wet gloves, things become much, much harder for you. So I think these guys have got pretty good conditions today. It's been all right all day. So they should be feeling fairly fresh, and they've got the warm tent in isolation. So they'll be coming out from that, hopefully feeling good. It's just a case of whether they've warmed up enough and they're ready to do the moves.
Yeah, you can see that they're dragging the ropes down and preparing it. We're gonna have the first woman to start.
Yeah, so we've got Marion coming out
Marion
first.
Thomas, yeah.
Which is, yeah, funny. Last week she came out last, so she qualified first last week. So yeah, she'll. I think she'll have a point to prove. You know, it was obviously really close today, but.
And she was second last week. Right?
Yeah, so she came second to Marianne, just literally by half a second of clipping a quick draw before pinging. So it was super, super close. So I have a feeling Marianne will come out today with you know, a point to prove. It's I guess it's kind of nice to come out first. You don't have to listen to the crowd roaring to the previous competitors. You don't have any kind of worries. You're like, you can't get any worse. You know,
exactly.
and that sounds bad, but like, you know, you've already made finals, which is such a great thing to do. And you know, Marion's coming out in 9th place at the moment. Worst case, she falls off the first hold, she'll take that 9th place. So she can only improve her score here, which I think could be a real confidence boost of just make you really, really positive to just go for it.
That's true. Yeah. And if you've talked about the score, if the score is tight, then you come down back to the time, or?
So only if it's a top. So if we have multiple athletes that top the route today for the final, it'll come down to time. If you have obviously competitors that draw on the score, so they get to the same hold in the finals, it'll then come to the qualification result, because you can't really distinguish who's done better if they haven't actually topped. I guess climbing a finals route in a faster time can be conceived as being a better athlete. So that's how we draw the line if there's a draw.
You think that someone is gonna run out of time?
I think there'll be some timeouts, definitely.
Yeah.
You know,
it can happen. It's really long.
It's a long, long route, and they're not even just climbing a straight route. They've got, especially the men, they're starting out on the right-hand wall. They're zigzagging all over the place on that right-hand wall, and then they're moving a big left traverse into the hanging boxes, and the boxes can just absorb time. You know, you can have loads of time. You get to that roof, you start fig 4, fig 9ing, you get a little tangle with the rope, and the minutes can just disappear from you. So there'll definitely be some people moving fast to try and make sure that they don't feel like they've got that time constraint.
Yeah. Can we see Marion already in action?
Yeah, she's had a nice quick start there. The logs here in Brno that you can see on the right hand side there, they're super positive. They're spray painted blue where the holes are, and yeah, it gives you a really good chance to move really quick and get off the ground nice and fast without really any worries of those sketchy holds. So I'm sure all the athletes today will attack that start really quick.
Have you talked to the route setters? Do you know what's...
I had a very quick chat with some of the route setters just to kind of, you know, see if there was any moves that were going to really stand out for us as we're watching this. I think mainly the starts are just getting them into that roof. As I said, the boxes are always going to be exciting. You know, these guys are going to be super pumped. They're going to be tired. They're going to be in the roof trying to hold on, fig fouring, your feet get cut loose. I think we'll have some really epic falls as well, which maybe not so good for the competitors, but great for us that we're watching.
Marion seems quite quick in the beginning.
Yeah, she's definitely off to a good start. You know, she's coming up to, what, quick draw 5 there.
Yeah.
I think a lot of these holds here, they're obviously resin holds. They all look fairly positive. You know, don't get me wrong, some of them can not be great. They might have a small spot that really has to be taken specifically. But yeah, I think you can afford to move quite fast on these types of holds. Knowing that, you know, there's a little bit of grip on them, your ice axe is going to bite into them slightly, so you can feel quite secure on these, but it doesn't mean that you can relax. You know, they still have to be held in the specific position or the specific direction that they need to be pulled on. So yeah, you can see her here really trying to keep that left hand still on that underside. Nice.
Oh, that's a long move.
So you'll see some holds out here on the left. They're from the qualifier route, so I think the route setters has specifically set this the start of the women's route here all in orange holds so that the competitors know where they're going. So although you do see some things out on the left, it's not for them, so it is more specified.
But if they reach it?
So yeah, if you touch a hold that's not in, they'll be disqualified. That'll be the end of their go.
Okay.
So they do need to really try and remember that, and it can be difficult times. You know, obviously the route setters are under the time constraints and having to get what they can done to get the final set up. So I have no doubt they've removed every hold that they think could be used that's not meant to. But you know, now and then there's something that maybe a competitor just gets focused on. I think actually last year in Brno we had some of the Americans that they took the wrong line, and I think there was 2 of them that did the same thing. So obviously,
they were talking about it during the observation, and then
yeah, totally. I think they both came up with the same plan, were convinced that hold was in, and they both moved to it. So it's funny how sometimes, I guess you can get really locked on with what exactly it is you're trying to do, and it's hard to refocus if you don't know. So
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And obviously, no one's going to tell you. This is completely on site, so no one in the crowd's allowed to shout kind of anything. We'll tell them how to do it. So. But she's moving really well here.
We can see some wires on the screen.
So yeah, as she comes off this next wall up into this next section, the wall starts to kick back. So she's going to go onto probably about 20 or 30 degree wall here.
Yeah, she's already clipping the 11th quick draw.
Yeah, getting it in early.
Can't even see the next hold.
So I think she's moved. I think there's a small metal plate on this grey volume up and left. But I think it's really bad. You know, you can see her there just going up for it, checking out the hold. Maybe not quite convinced it's what she thought it was. So I think this is probably a good tactic, to be honest. She's got time looking at this hold and just, you know, having good shakeout on this lower wall like she just did there to get your arms a little bit fresher before she moves into the steep section. Because as you can see, now that she's got this hold, that's it. She's not going backwards. She's really got to commit. And yeah, keep fighting the pump. But she's cruised that. That looks really, really smooth.
Yeah, changing the hands and shaking a little bit. Yeah, she looks quite composed right now.
Yeah, definitely still under control. A little shakeout here and there, and I'm sure she'll be feeling it, but she definitely looks like she's keeping it under control. So you can see mostly on all the competitors' axes, they've got a long second handle, so that bottom handle. You were mentioning the kind of switching your hands around, so yeah, a lot of the time you'll see them switching their hands. Effectively, it allows you to match even on a really, really bad hold. So rather than bringing both ice axes to the same hold, you can just keep one pick on and just move your way around your axe. But you do have to be really careful. It doesn't take much to shift that pick and get thrown off the route. So, yeah, she's looking really, really smooth. But you can see her here going into this box. This is where it's all going to get serious.
Is the box moving when they touch it?
So the boxes are suspended. I guess this big box will move a little bit, but I don't think it'll have too much movement. Although it looks like the route setters have been really cruel. It's quite often when you move into a roof, the holds will be actually quite positive.
Yeah.
Although you can see here, this first hold is a granite hold, which are just not good. It's so easy to ping off of these. So she's doing really, really well to keep it
This looks so scary to me. Really nice.
So she's definitely done it quite well here. She's moving left through a box, or moving left through a roof. So using the left leg's a really good option, because you take the hold and then you move that leg into the fig 9 position, which is same leg, same arm, which is just effectively an intermediate to be able to switch into the fig 4, which is where it's the opposite. And that figure 4 position gives you a really, really controlled setting to kind of move off into the next hold. So again, here you can see she switched legs there just to sit up really high and keep that weight on the pick so that she doesn't ping. So yeah, she is absolutely cruising this so far.
She's using like a heel hook.
Yeah, so I think the route setters told all the competitors, for the feet, you can use anything. Obviously, the structure is built of concrete with a ply lining in certain places, but if they can put their crampon point, their front point onto any place on the wall, obviously not quick draws or bolts or things that would be out of bounds, but holds, plywood, a crack in the concrete. Yeah, on this wall with your front points, anything goes. The picks for your ice axes have to be on the holds though. So.
She's already quite high for the first competitor out.
Yeah, it's awesome to see, coming out first and absolutely demolishing it so far.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we can't see the time, so I'm not sure how much time does she have.
No, I don't think we've got that here, but it must be ticking on now. But you can see her really fighting to get these quick draws in this roof. I'm sure here she'll be looking at this head wall going, okay, cool, I'll get my feet back in a minute. But I've had a look at those holds up there, and I don't think that head wall is actually any sort of a rest. So, and
she's off, yeah.
What an effort. That was mega.
Well, this is great high point.
Yeah, like I think, to come out first and get that high point there, she probably won't know how well she's done yet. Obviously, no one else has climbed, but she'll get the chance to be able to watch everybody else.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
It's always interesting having come out first.
Yeah.
You've maybe set your high point, and then you watch people fall off below you. And obviously, no one wants to wish badly on any of the other competitors, but it is, sometimes it's amazing to watch how well you've done and not even know, that could be the winning run just there. So we'll see what happens.
And it was really nice performance, and now we're gonna have the first of men. We're gonna be switching between men and women.
Yeah, so this is Dennis Van Hoyk. Like I said earlier, he won the gold last week, so again, we could have a really, really strong first run here.
Yeah, I'm looking at his results, like overall results, and he's competing quite a lot.
Yeah.
Already like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 competitions for this year.
Yeah, I'm pretty. I think he pretty much competed in almost every round of the European Cup last season, which was actually a really big year. I think we had 7 competitions last year, so I think he took second or third overall. But yeah, just a really, really good all-round performer. He's got a lot of height. He's a really tall climber, which obviously in this game can make a big, big difference. But he also moves really well with his ice axes. He's got a lot of experience. And with that height, it just, adds up to him always performing well for sure.
He's not hesitating at all.
to the start of this men's route, it's a lot of granite holds. Again, real granite, a little bit sketchy. They do tend to have a specific spot on which they can be taken. But that the net, no matter how experienced you are at climbing on granite holds, every single competition, you always have a little bit of fear of them. It's so easy to ping on them. And it can feel like they're against you sometimes. So yeah, we'll see how he gets on with all these.
Are there more sketchy than the metal ones?
To be honest, I think so. You know, obviously, the metal holds are usually designed and built so that they have a really specific point. And
so if you find the point, then
yeah, if you find that exact point, they can actually be really good. They might be really small and they might be really unforgiving if you move out of that spot. But in that spot, they can be really good. Whereas the stone holds, you know, even if they're designed specifically to be good, they're still a natural product. You know, the stone can chip, it can kind of degrade as climbers go on it throughout the day, especially in qualification where you've got, you know, like today we have nearly 100 competitors, which is crazy. So you kind of don't really know what you're going to get until you get there. Whereas at least with the metal holds, if you've trained on that specific hold, it should stay the same.
What about those handles on the clamping axis? Are there like any limits for the length?
Yeah, so there's a regulation, we call it the ice box. Your tool has to fit in the box, and most of the like super high-end competition axes nowadays are built specifically to that specification. So they will fit, but only just. So you know, we've seen competitors sometimes overwrap their axes with their kind of sticky bike tape or whatever for making it comfortable for the hands. But they've actually extended the ice axe just a few millimeters too far, and they don't fit in the box. So yeah, if you come to a competition with a tool that's not regulated, then you'll be disqualified. So I think Dennis here is climbing on the A speeds, a really popular tool for a lot of the high-end, especially World Cup climbers. They're carbon fiber, really light, they climb really well. Yeah, definitely one of the favorite tools of some of the best in the world.
Yeah, you probably want the ice axe as light as possible, right?
Yeah, it does make a difference. You know, it can help you not quite get so tired. You know, fatigue from lifting it up and down all day will kick in if it's a heavy tool. And you'll see a lot of the competitors are putting the ice axe in their teeth so that they can clip, they can free up a hand. That's allowed. And yeah, a carbon tool definitely feels a lot better in your teeth than an alloy tool. So we had a really nice quick start here, but I think he's slowed down quite a lot here. I think these holds must really be, you know, you can see him really, and he's on this hand jam here that Radek has set. I think it's a little tribute to the fact the competition's in Czech. So yeah, he's actually set a crack here, and I think Dennis just absolutely cruised it. I didn't really notice it until then. So yeah, it's cool to see him just fly through that. So that really slowed him down. It'll be really interesting to see if the other competitors work out that actually you do need to use your hand there to be able to get through that section. Yeah, he's starting to speed up again now. Just that slow section there, just to compose himself.
Yeah, to me that's interesting that you can use like hands for the holds.
Yeah, so if you can hold it with your hand, it's fair game, but there's no points given to competitors when they touch a hold with the hand.
Okay.
The points are awarded for the ice axe.
For the ice axe, yeah.
If you take it with your ice axe and then take it with your hand, you obviously still retain the point that you earn. But often we'll see sections, especially on stone holds, that competitors, especially strong rock climbers, you know, they'll just crimp down on these holds, and they'll move 2 or 3 holds in a row with just with their hands, which is fine. But if they fall off there, they'll get the last hold that they had with their ice axe. So it can be a risky business, but especially on volumes where you can maybe get a thumb around one of the arêtes of the volumes, it can work really well.
And we can see that they're using gloves, so maybe the friction is not so good.
Yeah, trying to crimp in golf gloves is hard work. Yeah, gloves are mandatory in all the competitions. Obviously, it protects your hands. But yeah, there's I don't think there's a correct answer if you ask what gloves you're meant to use. But yeah, a lot of people deciding to use golf gloves, baseball gloves, horse riding gloves. Yeah, you know, like
yeah, this is funny. We have gloves for so many sports, but there are no like ice climbing gloves.
I think every glove's an ice climbing glove. It just depends on who you ask, really. definitely taking his time here, but I think with the 8-minute time limit, it's a good tactic to not come out too fast. The start of that men's route is definitely difficult, and like I said, those stone holds you really have to take your time on. So it'll be interesting if he's totally knackered by the time he gets into this roof, or maybe he speeds up because the holds become more positive. So.
But he already did the traverse, so he's the same route as Marion was.
Yeah, I think this is just where it joins in here at clip 11. So
yeah, exactly.
He's got this bad hold. Marion didn't like it earlier. She had to have a couple of double takes. So you can see Dennis here really trying to push into it.
He's not liking it that much either.
No, lots of bent arms here, and you can definitely see he's trying to keep that tool really still.
Now he's probably to better hold. You've seen Marion shaking a little bit here.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Dennis just attacks this this roof here, or whether he'll have a minute just to get his breath back and try and make the most of it. You know, it's always a hard decision. Do you keep pushing, you know, into the red, or do you just have a little rest and know that actually, okay, you're reducing the time you've got left, but when you do start climbing again after that rest, you're going to feel fresh. You're going to be able to really do the moves. Tactics, you know, play a big part in this game for sure.
Yeah, also reading the route.
Yeah, I guess that observation period is the only time these guys get to see the holds, and it can be hard in a structure like this when it's dark. You've got the floodlights on, so the bottom section, yeah, it's easy to tell what the holds are, but when you're looking up at a roof that's 25 meters above you, you don't really know what's going on up there. And I don't believe anybody really knows when they get to this box exactly what they're going to be doing. So a lot of it really is pure on-site. They'll be here working it out move by move, hold by hold.
Yeah, you can very regularly see the competitors watching with the binoculars.
Yep, they're allowed.
So you can see better.
Yeah, getting a little close up to just tell what type of hold it is, especially these small metal holds. You know it's a metal hold. You might even know the brand it is, but you don't actually know what hold it is unless you can see exactly what it's designed as. So it can be really tricky, and knowing that can make a massive difference. You know, exactly how to take the hold and how to move on it. That knowledge can be invaluable if you trained on it before.
Yeah, then it's getting to the hard part.
And that's him. I think he's just timed out there.
Yeah, I think so.
A really good effort though. Not quite as high as Marion there. Oh, he's having some fun on the way down. He seems happy. He seems happy. I guess in the finals, timing out is almost a good thing. You know, it means you didn't get spat off by the route. You're good enough. You're maybe just not quite fast enough yet to top. So, no, he's done really well to get there. I think the start of that men's route definitely is. He climbed it really well, really slowly, and I think that's a good approach.
Yeah. Now the pressure is on him. He can just watch the other competitors have fun.
Yeah, he can grab a beer and enjoy watching everybody else now. So actually, maybe coming out first is the best way to do it.
Yeah. I see another woman, and that's Maja from Slovenia. She was also competing last weekend at Žilina at Slovakia. She came third.
Yeah, she came third. I think it was, you know, I don't know if Maja was, you know, last week there was, again, like this week, a really, really strong showing from the ladies. I can't remember what she qualified in, but she kind of came mid-pack, I believe, and then really moved up the ranks. There was a lot of ladies that fell off low down on the finals route with a really bad stone hold, and a lot of them took it wrong, maybe didn't take the correct spot, just made a mistake. But there was several ladies that fell off all in the same spot, and actually Maja just walked by it. Didn't even seem like she had any trouble. So I think that that section there, it really pushed her up the ranks. So yeah, she came away with a bronze last week. So again, she'll be looking to make that podium again today. So it'll be really interesting to see how she climbs.
She seems being really careful in the beginning.
Yeah, definitely not the running start that Marion had earlier, but you know, maybe she'll find her feet now when she gets going. It's always nice to get that first clip, kind of get off the ground, get moving, find your flow, and then almost accelerate into it. Sometimes going off with a too fast a start can just end in disaster. Yeah, just looking at the results there. So yeah, she took a 5th place last year here in Brno. So she'll know the wall. She'll know the finals, kind of where you know usually the finals end up on kind of the same sort of area. Again, coming through the roof, so she'll have experience of it. She'll, you know, I think she'll take her time here and cruise through.
You can hear the DJs having fun.
I was going to say, Brno is definitely known for having like some good tunes when you're in the finals, and they always blast it. You know, it doesn't matter how high on that wall you are, you've got those tunes in your ears, which I guess is sometimes pretty good. Keeps you distracted.
Is it helping? Do you think it's helping when you're competing? Because, for example, me, when I'm competing, I don't hear these things.
Yeah,
I don't pay attention to
I kind of
it.
like it. You know, I definitely I like being able to hear my team and stuff as well. You know, it's always good to hear shouts of encouragement. And it's funny how you can definitely hear who you want to hear.
Yeah, that's true.
know,
yeah,
which is really funny.
you can
know.
channel it.
Yeah, you can really channel it. So yeah, maybe some of these athletes, you know, they need that music. They need that kind of to zone out and really just get in the mood to climb hard. I guess it's totally a personal preference. See her just checking this hold out.
Now she's using it hand.
Yeah, I don't think it's a good hold, so she came up and just wasn't convinced she was in the right spot, but she's moved through it really nicely, so.
But I feel like she's climbing much slower than Marion was.
Yeah, again, I don't think we've got the times. I need to start putting a stopwatch on so I know, but definitely hasn't got the pace that Marion had earlier. But then Marion did take the full and not the timeout, so we'll see how far this gets her.
She had to reach really far.
Again, like you said earlier, she seems, I don't know, like she's really cautious with every hold. She's, you know, you can see her really visually checking every hold, making sure she's in the correct spot. So maybe just her tactic is just to, you know, stay on the wall, try and use her whole time, get as far as she can. Not really taking any risks, which actually sometimes can pay off. You know, you see a lot of people try and blast through the first section and they just ping, which is a risk, but you know, sometimes that's the route. You have to climb fast. But I think she's kind of taking this tactic of, you know, take it steady, check every hold, make sure you don't fall off. Which is smart if everybody else comes out with the complete opposite direction and totally falls off the first move. So I guess it helped her last week. You know, last week she climbed really smoothly for the moves that she did. Okay, she didn't top, but everybody else fell off below her because they were rushing. So maybe she'll end up with a podium just from really taking the time. She's climbing well, and you don't have to blast through every hold.
Yeah, if you have good stamina and you know it, then there's no point to rush.
Yeah, she's having no problem locking off there. She looks super strong still, absolutely cruising. So, yeah, slow and steady. She looks really good. Again, checking out holds still, making sure she's in the right spot. Yeah, definitely a cautious climber.
Yeah, she's getting to the steeper section.
There you go. She's just taking that hold with her hand there just to get the height to make this move easier. And just coming into that 11th club is where the men's route joins in again. So I wonder if she'll do this clip like Marion did before moving on to this bad hold. I think if she moves into it, it'll make the clip much, much harder. So we'll see how she does here.
problem. Definitely a little bit more strenuous to do it that way, but she looks good. And then again, we've got this bad hold up on the left volume. We'll see if she cruises through it. Dennis didn't seem to have too many problems, but Marion took a couple of goes up and down before she decided to commit. So,
but also the hesitating can cost you some power. So.
Yeah, you know, going up and down off a hold, you know, you can almost convince yourself it's bad when it's good as well. It's just quite easy to move and to totally convince yourself otherwise. But again, she's locking off really, really well and really, really strong here. So
yeah, that looks really nice and smooth. Getting to the steeper section. Oh, a little slip.
So she's clearly got the stamina when she's got her feet on. So it'll be really interesting to see when she gets to these boxes, assuming she's got the time left, whether or not she'll keep this super slow, steady, smooth movement, or whether it'll maybe totally that'll be it once her feet come off. Maybe she's just too tired, but she's having a good shake here. She can't have too long left on the clock.
Yeah, but 8 minutes to me it seems like eternity. Holding like this, I can't imagine.
8 minutes is a long time to be hanging on your arms, that's for sure.
Yeah.
It's amazing how the time flies as well. You know, it might feel like eternity when you're watching the climbers, but I know what it's like up there. You get a little bit pumped, you shake out, you know, you maybe fumble a clip or two, and all of a sudden, you know, you're looking at time shouts from your teammates saying, "Oh, it's a minute to go," and you're like, "Where has the time gone?" So yeah, she's gone for the right leg here. I wonder if she's going to struggle to move off this hold now. It'll set her up well for this clip, but now to move left. Oh, okay, she's going to go for
crossing.
the crossover.
Okay.
Yeah, you can see how that's completely inverted her compared to all the other climbers. So seems like she's keeping it under control.
Oh no.
I don't know if that was a timeout or whether
I don't think so.
She might have just totally pumped out there, but no, again, a really good effort. She climbed it really slow and steady, and she didn't look like she struggled with anything. Just maybe a faster pace, I think, to get her even higher.
Yeah, but she got pretty high. Yeah, and for the next competitor, we're gonna have Marko Guna, Slovenian climber.
Yeah, I don't really know Marko personally. I've not seen him climb much in the finals. I think this actually might be his first European Cup final. I just having a look through the results here. Yeah, he competed here last year, 16th place. So he's done really, obviously, massively improved over the last year, which is always good to see. Always nice to see athletes, you know, going away with a result and clearly going away and doing a load of work. And although I don't personally know him, you know, just being able to see the results change from, you know, the low 20s up into, you know, the final 8 is great to see. So we'll see how he gets on with this.
Yeah, he's getting quite a good pace, I think, even for the granite holds. Yeah, deciding to clip first before the next move. Yeah, now we see that he doesn't like the hold that much.
Yeah, when you a lot of these holds you've got to take really straight on. You've got to really have the tip of your pick right on the sweet spot, as I was saying earlier. But you'll see it, especially if the hold is on a volume, it can often offer the opportunity to kind of wrap the hold with the pick, kind of using the side of it, turning it side on. It can make a hold kind of much better, but it's also risky. You know, it really doesn't allow a lot of movement in your handle, especially kind of in the horizontal direction, pulling it away from the wall. It's really easy to ping. So he did get through that hold, but I definitely think there's some holds up there which he just wouldn't get away with that. So you'll have to be careful. So here's this this crack that the route setters have set up. There's the hand jam in these cracks.
Yeah, he's reaching it with the right hand right now.
This will be interesting to see. Dennis flew through this section, so it'll be interesting to see. He doesn't look like he likes this much, so I guess a little bit of climbing ability here will definitely help.
This is like the typical Czech thing to do. Use the crank.
Yeah, he's really bent on this. He's not liking this. This is not a good position at the moment. Oh, and he's coming back to the hold. That was close. So I think the route setters have set it so that you go in with a right hand jam, and then you actually cross over to that small blue volume with the next one. I don't think it's a double stacked hand jam. Don't get me wrong, you could probably do it.
But he's trying.
Oh,
no.
Yeah, just like that. I think trying to put two hands with golf gloves in a crack is going to be hard work. So a good effort, but no, it's. I'm sure the route setters will be almost happy to see one person come off there. They'll feel like they succeeded in their challenge. So.
Yeah, unfortunately for Marco,
maybe he'll have to put his tools down for a bit and go and do some crack training for next year.
Call the white boys.
I can't think of anything worse than climbing cracks with the hand glove, with like golf gloves on. You know, maybe crack gloves, but
the crack, yeah.
Slippery golf gloves. I don't. Yeah, I think the route setters have been really cruel though.
This was a quick try.
He's not too happy there, leaving away, but hey, he's he made it to finals, which is his first European Cup final, so he should definitely be happy with that, regardless of wherever he places after everybody's climbed.
Yeah, we're gonna see our first Japanese competitor. That is why we have 9 women and also 9 men, because we have Japanese competitors here that got into the finals. Yeah,
so obviously it's the European Cup. It's a continental cup, so we have to have 8 European climbers in the finals. So it doesn't stop other continent climbers coming to the competitions. As I said earlier, a lot of them are starting to come over to Europe because of the standard that's being set over here. But yeah, it's great to see more and more people here, but it just means that we add a quota of 1 or however many athletes get in. So yeah, that's the 9th person here. So Haruko is a World Cup climber. She's been on the scene for a long time. I honestly love watching her climb. She's so smooth. She doesn't have a lot of height to her, but it just doesn't seem to phase any movement whatsoever. Every time anybody watches her climb, you can't help but notice how super smooth she is. Fruit boots with just the crampons on at the front. It feels a bit alien.
Are these crampons like very different to the ones that you use for real ice?
So obviously they're bolt-on crampons, so they're bolted directly onto the sole of the shoe, which are usually like a carbon fiber base, so they're super stiff, very similar to like a B3 mountaineering boot. But again, they only have that front section, so you've only got your front point and usually the rakes, which are just the front 2 or 3 points on the sides. There's no heel plates. They're actually banned in competitions now. You can add them to fruit boots for outdoor climbing, for walking around mainly, more than anything. But no, most of the time they are very different. Bolted on, super lightweight, and the fact that they're really close to the sole of the foot means you get a really direct feel over your toes for when you're standing on the front point. So again, like everything in competition ice climbing, it's very similar, but just a little bit more aggressive, really specific.
Yeah, makes sense.
To make everything a little bit easier for the competitors when they're climbing right at that extreme. Again, a nice smooth start. Really good footwork. You can see she steps through a lot of the time rather than stepping 1, 2, 3 to the left. She'll just step her right foot through and just effectively cut half the moves out. So really cool to see. Really good footwork like that.
And she seems quite quick as well.
Oh, that was close.
Whoa.
So you can see her there, just bring her foot up to go for the fig four. Usually the sort of shorter competitors will try and, they really want that reach, especially if you're on a bad hold and you don't want to leverage that axe up the way. A figure four can help you get nice and high on the hold, but still keep the weight pulling down the way. But it's a risky business trying to bring your foot up and through when you're not hanging from it.
Yeah,
So it's a totally different technique that you'll see later on in the route on the boxes. But she managed to just about keep it together there. So.
And then she decided to reach.
Yeah, I think that was a good wake up there for her to just pull through and do the move straight away, and she didn't actually have any trouble there. So I wonder if she will be a little bit out of focus now. It's hard when you try to commit to something and it almost spooks you. But she looks like she's getting back into the swing of it now.
Yeah, but that's also part of the competition, right? To stay calm with your mind and composed all the time.
Yeah, it's one thing being super strong or technically brilliant, but if you can't keep it together in the finals, then it doesn't matter how good you are. It's not often, but every now and then you see a competitor just crumble under the pressure. You can just see they come out. Maybe they've had a hard day qualifying. But technically they can be one of the best competitors on the whole circuit, but they come out and just the pressure can get to you, and it's easy to do, when you're up there in the limelight. I think every competitor's felt that, and the pressure can be real. It can really change how you climb. So, but no, she's definitely keeping it together here. It must be interesting, I think the Japanese have a lot of different holds compared to what's probably usual over in Europe. A lot of the kind of Eastern European climbers will be really used to the holds that are on the wall just now. A lot of plastic holds that are, have either been edited or used specifically for these competitions. They may even have been used in these competitions before, and you do kind of get familiar with them and how they work. Top of this volume. Oh no, let's be cruel and we'll put a trick hole in this volume. So
yeah, I can see the similarity.
They'll all be chuckling down the bottom watching people climb it badly or wrong, but I guess as a route setter you take a bit of pride in, especially at finals route, especially if it's going to be on the live stream, everybody's watching, and as much as they'll enjoy watching everybody have a problem with a specific hole that they put on deliberately, I have no doubt the route setters will be the happiest people in the room if somebody tops. Because when you get a top, you've done your job really well.
It's true. But you don't want too many people to top.
No, there's always the risk, There's always the risk you undercook it, and you just have everybody getting to the top. And I guess it's not the worst thing in the world, but I guess losing when you top, if you've got a draw and then you lose because of time, you can be a bit sour after that. So.
Yeah, but we can see Haruko.
So smooth in those figure 4, figure 9s. It just doesn't even look like gravity's. She just turned it off for this move.
Yeah, she even looks like she's chilling in between of these moves.
And just even the clips, like, trying to clip a hanging quick draw, especially when it's 6 foot long, and you're hanging from an ice axe, and it can all be really difficult. And actually clipping could be the most difficult part of some of these moves. Actually, the climbing can be quite easy, and you just can't get the clip. So she just made that look like it was so easy there. Such a smooth climber.
Yeah, hopefully we can see her in the head wall.
So pretty much every competitor here has decided to kind of get the feet back on the volume, not to fig 4 every move. So I guess it gets a lot of the weight off your hands. This is a nasty hold on that volume. I don't think this is good.
Yeah, but she seems to trust it.
Oh, she's really really yarding on it.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no fear here, that's for sure.
Ah.
And that's a timeout there. A
No.
really, really good effort. She looks so smooth there. I reckon, you know, a couple of seconds more and she'd have had that high point with no issues whatsoever. So, yeah, really, really good effort there.
So time is really issue here.
Yeah, it's a long route, and like I said, you can see people come into those volumes with kind of, you know, they've been moving at a good pace, and they just slow right down. You know, like I said, the clipping's hard, the position, working out which way you need to go, and actually even seeing the holds. You know, it's not a case of just looking up the way now. It's a case of looking behind you, in front of you, underneath you. It can be really 3D climbing. So next up, I think we've got David Buffard. Yeah. David's a super strong climber. He's been on the scene for ages as well. I'm actually good friends with David, and yeah, it'll be really cool to see how he gets on with this. He climbed so well last week. Really committed to every move. There was a big dyno in the final, and he was just one of these athletes that he just got the hold ready to go, and didn't even think. He just went for it straight away. Really committed. So I wonder if he'll have the same approach with this climb.
You can see the competitors starting with both of the ice axes at the same hold.
Yeah, so it's a funny one. You have to start with both axes in the same hold. You kick both feet into the wall, and that's your start position. And it's only when you lift one axe, your time starts.
Oh, okay.
So it's a funny one that actually people have had real nightmares where, you know, just in the kind of rush of getting started, they put both ice axes in, and they lift an ice axe before they kick their second foot.
No.
And they do 3 or 4 moves until the judge goes, sorry, you've had a false start, you're disqualified. And it's so easy to do. Oh, he's nearly had a slip there. That was so close. He's pulled it back together.
Yeah, this man's part looks really sketchy.
Yeah, all of them have had some sort of issue on these holds, whether it's the hold's pinged or whether they've just not been able to find the correct spot. Definitely a really technical start to a route.
You're seeing the competitors in the reversed order comparing to the results from the qualifiers, which means that the worst is going first, and then you should see the best in the end.
Yeah, I guess it makes sense. You know, the person that qualifies the highest, in theory, gets the longest rest. So there is a benefit of qualifying high. But also then you have the nerves of coming out last. You've heard the crowd roaring for the last hour for all the other competitors. I don't know what I would prefer, to be honest. Come out first or come out... I've never come out last, that's for sure, but I've definitely come out first. And sometimes knowing that you've got no pressure on you could be really good for just how you approach the climb. So,
if you go last, sometimes you come out really late.
Yeah, it can be a long wait, you know, especially... you know, they seem to be flying through these guys really well here, but especially if you've got a route where everybody uses the full allotted time, you know, you can be in isolation for a couple of hours, sat with no one to talk to, totally on your own, and all you've got is, you know, a quick memory of what the route looked like a few hours ago, and then you have to come out and perform at your best. So I guess it can kind of be a lonely place. To be honest, I kind of love that the ice climbing community is so close-knit, because all these guys are friends with each other, and when you're sat in isolation, everybody will still help each other. You know, you want everybody to do well, and you'll discuss your plan and what you're going to do and how you're going to go about it, and it's really cool to see everybody kind of support each other, even when actually you're competing against each other.
Yeah, but I feel like you want to win fair, you know, like if you know the easiest way, you don't want to win just because you know the easiest way. Yeah,
don't get me wrong, some competitors will keep quiet, and you know, some people need to just like get themselves focused and have the time to themselves, but I do like that, you know, every time I've ever been in isolation, people want to talk, they want to discuss the plans, they want to think about what the route looked like, and yeah, help each other, like you said. You want to win fair and square, and you want to beat the other climber because you climbed harder or faster or better.
Yeah.
You don't just want to know that actually there's a sweet spot in this hold and no one else knows about it. I don't know whether maybe that's not the best win. So David had no issues with that, the crack climb there. Absolutely cruised through that section. He's now into these metal pancake holds.
Yeah, and so far he looks like he's fast enough.
Yeah, keeping a really good steady pace. I don't think he's really stopped climbing.
was close.
Little struggle there. Those metal holds there are really, really bad. We had some of them in qualifiers, and they're just a flat pancake of metal that just has absolutely nothing on it. Really have to hold it really specifically, and if you lapse a concentration, you're off.
Is it a new thing, the metal holds?
I don't think so. You know, they've been around for a while, but there's always people designing new stuff. For instance, the hold he's on now from Kuźnia Spejo, it's a Polish company. They've brought out a lot of new holds this season, and I think this is the first time we've kind of seen them on the circuit. So it was fun today to see Jan. I think he's actually out in the finals later on. He's the owner of Kuźnia, and yeah, they today just selling holds to athletes left, right, and center because everybody wants to train on them.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And it's funny, you know, you bring new holds out and everybody wants to at least see them. And if you can, you know, you can stick a couple in your bag to take home with you and just put them on your homo and train. And it makes a massive difference, you know. If you look at a hold and you know exactly where it is, and you know exactly how to use it, then yeah, the confidence just goes up when you see them. Oh, that hold looked like it slipped there a little bit. He's not happy with that hold.
Oh no, he looks like he found the sweet spot.
He's so strong. Look how easily he's just. Oh no! Oh, that was so close. I thought he was just gonna pull straight through that. He looked so solid there.
Yeah.
I think he lost his foot there.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I think just moving his feet up, it just lost it, and that pinged him off the hold. Oh, that's such a shame. He was looking so good there. I think he'll be really disappointed with that. Oh, look, they're having a quick hug. An apology hug for falling off. That's allowed.
Oh, I think you're seeing Aneta Łużycka.
Yeah, this is her just coming out now.
She's always wearing something pink or on her helmet.
I remember watching her when she was like in the youth categories, and I think she still had the same thing on her helmet. Just pink everything. Pink. She loves it.
Yeah. She's just like a really girlish person.
She loves it. She's just like, yeah, and just always so energetic and just always super smiley and happy to look at. She's so psyched to be here. It's so good to see.
Yeah. Yeah, I talked to her and she was like, yeah, I need to get to Prague really early because I'm waking up, like I have to be 6 a.m. at my job tomorrow.
Yeah, I think she works in a zoo as well.
Yeah,
so
in a zoo, yeah.
You talk to her and she's like, yeah, I gotta feed the elephants. You're just like, this is a completely different world that I live in. A total badass ice climber on the weekends, and then goes out and like looks after the animals in the zoo. It's yeah, so funny.
Yeah, somebody was like, oh, you have to work on Sunday, and she was like, yeah, you know, the animals, they don't take weekends.
That's exact. I can hear her saying that with such like totally like, yeah, what do you mean? Weekends don't exist for the animals. That's amazing. Right, I've actually set my timer now, so we've got time on this now, so we'll actually know whether or not this is a timeout or whether she's looking good though.
She came 6th in Žilina last weekend.
Yeah, again, I think she fell victim to that bad stone hold that a lot of the ladies just took wrong. I think she took it multiple times. It wasn't sticking, and then eventually committed to it, and it just didn't work out for us. So she wasn't the only one. So I think, again, a lot of those ladies, they'll feel like they were a bit shortchanged with the final. They'll want to get more out of this. So maybe that's why we're seeing them be a little bit more careful at the start here. It's easy to kind of think that your problem is climbing too fast, but she's not moving at a bad pace.
Yeah, but she told me that she had some issues with the time in the qualifiers. She said she was at the top with just the one Isaacs and...
Who didn't have problems with time today? Yeah. You know, 3.5 minutes to climb some of those routes is just bonkers.
3.5.
You're literally running a wall. It can almost feel like you've entered speed discipline by accident. And like it is crazy, you know, trying to climb that fast. And I don't think the routes with 3.5 minutes, they weren't particularly hard. Nothing that the guys that are making these finals couldn't handle. But there's a fear there of falling off on technically what's quite easy. and getting a a much lower rank than everybody
Yeah.
else, and because it's done on rank rather than score,
Mm.
you get a low rank in one of the routes and you top all the hard ones, you still might not make finals.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's definitely I think it's a scary experience trying to climb something easy because you need to make it. So Annetta will be super used to these holds, super used to these volumes. I think she climbs on them quite a lot. So
Yeah. Also this wall.
yeah, it's definitely I guess local for her compared to most athletes here.
Even though she lives in Prague, she comes here to train.
Yeah, I think she travels quite a lot to come
Yeah.
down. Again, when she's not feeding the elephants. So yeah, really committed to come down. I know it's not a quick journey down from Prague. So, but it's such a good structure to train on, and I think they had a UIAA training camp just recently. And they had a lot of athletes come from all over, actually just to train on this structure. They set a lot of competition routes, just purely a training exercise. But I think it effectively turned into a mini European Cup, which was, what a great experience and what a great way to start the season. To actually feel like you're competing against those other athletes on a wall that you will eventually be on the circuit. So
Yeah.
again, definitely a good confidence builder.
You can see that she's.
Oh God, and she's off there as well.
She tried to use the hand first.
Yeah, I don't think she took the right part of that hold
Yeah.
at all. She really didn't look like she was convinced she had it. And it just goes to show, you take a hold wrong and it really doesn't take much to get pinged off. Again, another really strong athlete, home wall. She'll have really been hoping to be much, much higher than that. So
For sure.
that's a shame.
Yes, we set the timer this time and then
Yeah, we
didn't need it that
didn't need
much.
the time there. She had plenty of time left. So that's a real shame for her.
What's the next competition, do you know?
So technically the next competition is on the European Cup circuit is Glasgow in Scotland. It's the first time the UK's ever held a European Cup. So I'm actually head setting that competition. So it's
cool.
my home wall. It's it's going to be my baby this time. So
Are you excited?
I am actually. It'll be
Yeah.
really cool. We held the British Ice Climbing Championships earlier this year in April. It was right at the end of last season, which was kind of the first ever serious competition we had. We really set it up like a European Cup, but it wasn't on the circuit, whereas now it's on the circuit. So it's going to be really cool to have a lot more foreign athletes come across rather than just a big British contingency. And it's going to be really interesting to be, setting that high level, that high standard, which you're seeing here on what's our home wall. It's really cool to be bringing it back to Scotland, and it'll give a great opportunity for a lot of the British athletes to have a chance to compete without having to travel too far, and also being able to have the chance to just come and spectate even if you don't want to compete. It's a great opportunity to see what the level is at the moment in competitions like this.
Sure. We are seeing Gabrielle, Italian climber.
So I think again, I don't personally know Gabriel that well, but I think he's a mega strong climber. I think actually the whole Italian team is looking really strong this year. I think they've been doing a lot of outdoor dry tooling, a lot of strength stuff. You can see, built really strong here, quite a lot of good height, but does look a little shaky on some of these holds. So, but again, moving pretty fast. He's definitely on a mission, this guy.
And he might be nervous as well. It looks like it's his first finals.
Yeah, that would make sense, I think. I don't think I've seen him in the finals before, but yeah, it's such a scary experience, that first finals, isn't it? Regardless of what competition or what sport, that first day where it's your moment, you've made it, and it's so easy to just mess it up. Yeah, he definitely looks a little shaky here, but again, I think he's mega strong because he's not struggling at all to pull any of these moves.
He's done quite good in the qualifiers. So.
Yeah, what did he qualify? 4th or 5th or something like that? What are we at now?
He's 4th now, so then he qualified
5th because there was 9, yeah.
6th.
6th, okay, yeah. He's in this hand jam here. Again, doesn't look like he's struggling at all with that. But we'll see. He's going for the match. Oh, and again.
No.
Oh, that crack with 2 hands. That's 2 people that's claimed now.
Correct, it's a nightmare for some of these competitors.
Yeah, Marco had the exact same problem, didn't he? Where, matching that hand jam,
Yeah.
I think is just a really downfall position. Like, you've got all your weight on your hands. You know, you've maybe not kicked the ply quite hard enough with your front points, and so actually it's a lot of weight to hold. And if you're not good at jamming, I think that's going to be really hard. So
Yeah, you're probably right with the gloves.
it definitely isn't going to help. I'm sure all these guys can probably pull those moves when they've got chalk on their hands, but not with the gloves. So.
And that's actually, do you chalk before you put the gloves on?
You know, some people do. I think a lot of people put liquid chalk on. You know, almost.
I would definitely. I love chalk.
It's a funny thing, you know. I guess it's again totally personal preference. Some of the athletes have gloves that are so super tight. You know, I know athletes that buy a pair of gloves and they use them once. You know, because they like them, where they really have to like jam their hands into them, and then once they wear them, they've stretched out. So. It totally depends, but yeah, a lot of people using liquid chalk on the circuit just to really dry your hands out and allow that glove to really like almost really tight fitting and just not slip around on your hand, especially in cold wet conditions where you're probably over gripping. A lot of the time you're just moving the glove off of your hand as you climb, so yeah, it's probably not a bad technique. Maybe I should try it. I just don't like the idea of liquid chalk in a glove. I think that's a weird, you know, I do a lot of rock climbing and chalk makes sense there, but in gloves, I'm not sure. That seems odd to me.
What materials are mostly used for the gloves?
I guess a lot
Leather?
of the golf gloves and the baseball gloves and stuff will all be leather palmed at least. Quite a lot of people using like working freezer gloves, you know, kind of people that work in cold conditions using like a freezer glove. You know, they come with a really, really good grippy rubber hand kind of sole, so they are really, really good on the hand, but the struggle is you can have usually with like an elastic back. They're designed to be put on and taken off quite quickly, which obviously isn't great for kind of competition climbing, but you do see a lot of those climbers using them, and like I said, they'll buy one pair for the comp. Because they're cheap, that you can effectively dispose of them. So slipping the glove on and making sure it's super, super tight, not stretched out, and then
yeah, because you don't want your hand to be twisting in them, right?
yeah, exactly. You know, you're just gonna feel like you're not really got a good purchase on that tool.
How is it for you to just watch today and not compete?
It's nice, you know. It's so nice to come to a competition and not be stressed. You know, even if you're enjoying the circuit, even if you're climbing really well, you know, traveling, competition, all of that, it can feel like a lot to do. And it is a big day, you know, and you do go home knackered. So it's quite nice to come and be a little bit more relaxed. For me personally, I've kind of been captaining the team. We've got 12 athletes over from the UK at this comp, which is a huge, huge improvement over the last years. But a lot of them are young, inexperienced competition climbing, so I guess I've kind of been there to help kind of guide and give them some instruction and just help everybody prepare, which has been nice to do. You know, it feels like I'm kind of giving something back. You know, injuries are not always the worst thing in the world. It allows you to kind of look at things a little bit differently, and
Yeah, that's true.
it's still nice to be involved. You know, it's great to be here on the commentating, and it's just great to be, you know, around in the circuit. You have a lot of friends on the circuit that you don't see unless you're at the competitions. So no, it's always good fun to be around here regardless. So
Yeah. Juliet Bergman, climber from France.
again, a regular face in finals in the Europeans. All the French team mega strong. She climbs really, really well. Again, probably not the tallest competitor on the circuit, but super strong, always climbs really well. Quite a quick climber. You can see her really going for a quick pace at the start here. Actually can't remember what happened last week, but I think she was kind of mid-pack again. I think she fell victim to that hold. So again, another one with a point to prove to show that she can be on that podium.
Yeah, she was 8th last week.
Yeah, exactly then. So again, another one of those ladies that just had a slip low down. There was a real big difference. Oh!
No.
Just as we were saying there, you know, it's so easy to do. And oh, what a shame. Oh, God. That's not a good start, you know. She'll have been hoping for so much more after last week, and to almost have the same thing happen again.
Yeah, and I'm afraid this puts her in the last position in the finals.
Yeah, that was a really low ping there. She'll be really gutted with that. And it's one thing to have a low ping and kind of get over it, but to have got over it, build yourself back up, make finals again, and then have an unlucky slip again. Yeah, I don't think she'll be happy tonight. She'll. That's a real shame for her.
It was super quick try.
She didn't even look like, you know, she'd got warmed up there. She
Yeah.
just got started. That is the sport, though. You know, it's so easy to do, and it's so easy to just either just up your pace just one bit too much, or just take a hold the wrong way, and yeah, you're back on the ground before you know it. So.
We are going to see another Japanese climber, Masato Nakaima. Looks like his first finals as well.
Yes, it looks like he's got quite a lot of World Cup
World
experience.
Cups, yeah.
Not necessarily making finals, but yeah, definitely got a lot of experience here. And you know, the World Cups can be such a serious competition that, you know, even just competing is a win, really. You know, for a lot of people, just to make it to the World Cups is such a big goal. So to have, you know, I'm looking at 5 or 6 World Cups here over just the last couple of years. Definitely someone with a lot of experience. It'll be really interesting to see how he gets on with the climbing here. Maybe not quite necessarily as difficult as a World Cup final, but yeah, it's definitely real out there. It's a big wall. There's a good crowd. And after 5 routes today, you know, I reckon this feels just as serious just now. So obviously, if you have a competitor that's not from Europe, as we said, we add quota so that there's 8 competitors in the final. So they can take a podium, they can win, but eventually those competitors that aren't from the continent in the Continental Cup, they'll effectively be deleted from the rankings. So that although you might get 4th in a competition, when you're removed, those beneath you will move up. So. It's always good to remember, yeah, a lot of the times you'll see the rankings and actually you won't even remember that there was some really, really strong other climbers that had made finals. You know, last year we had Tyler from the USA. He performed really well. I think he took 2 European gold medals, which is just an awesome thing to do. And it's funny to think, yeah, you know, he doesn't even stay on the cup rankings.
Yeah,
so. But I think he did really well in the World Cup as well, so a really good training ground, I guess. Oh, he's kept it together.
Whoa.
So it looks like he went to Stein that hold where you pull the axe almost like a lever against the wall.
No.
And yeah, that was definitely the problem there.
No way.
Tried it twice, and it's such an easy thing to do is to make a mistake and just repeat it straight away.
Yeah.
Just because you think you maybe did it wrong, but no, that was 100% not the right thing to do with that hold. Again, maybe just the difference of not knowing those types of holds and knowing what's Steinable and what's an undercut. So.
Right now it looks like the holds got more slippery or something. You're losing the competitors quite quickly.
With those holds that are upside down, some of them are steins. We call it a stein, like you're pulling a stein of beer. Effectively, you put the axe upside down, the tooth of your pick goes into the hold, and then when you pull down on your handle, it levers the head of the axe against the wall, so it really locks it in. Steins are really, really solid. But I think with this hold, it's so bad that you don't have any leverage on the hold. You actually have to pull it up the way. So if you try and lever it, it just pings. And you could see where he'd taken the hold and was pulling down, and there was just no purchase on it. So again, just one of those things where if you don't know the hold and you try to do it the wrong way, totally unforgiving.
And that puts him in last position for now.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a really, really low point there on the route, so we'll see if anybody else makes the same mistake, but most people I think have seen that hold and cruised through, so unfortunately for him I think that might not be the result he was wanting.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the results, so for Masato it's 1.052.
Yeah.
And in the lead we have Dennis van Hoek.
Yeah, there's still quite a big gap there between Dennis and everybody else, and again Dennis came out first, you know, he qualified 9th out of everybody, so it's great to see, you know, the effectively the scores being completely flipped.
Yeah, that's true. And then for the woman, we have Marion Thomas at lead.
Yeah, still up the top with a you know, an amazing score, 17 quick draws for her there. Like she was, you know, right on that top headball. So to have come out first and put in a performance like that, you know, the ladies that are coming out later are really going to have to bring it if they want to top or, you know, take that high point off of her.
Yeah, Marion first, then Haruko, and followed by Maya. And we are seeing Maria Šoltésová, Slovakian climber. She was
again,
10th.
she was there last week. Yeah, didn't make finals, I don't think. Yeah, 10th place.
It was probably her home wall.
Yeah, you know, I guess it's just the way it is. Sometimes the home advantage can be everything, and sometimes you just don't quite cut it. Maybe you have a low full.
Yeah. But Maria is as well climbing at a lot of European Cups.
Yeah, definitely put in the time over the last couple of years to travel to the comps. Looking at the results, you know, it looks like you kind of always that mid-pack, making finals sometimes. So it's great to see that she's made it into that top 9 today. Oh no,
she's off.
The bottom of this route is just throwing off one after the other.
That's crazy. Do you think that the conditions changed or something?
I don't know. I don't know whether maybe just the way that some are climbing, you know, it's hard to say. I didn't really see what happened there, but I think a lot of the time, as I said, the plastic holds here, they are good, but it looks like a lot of these guys are coming out, they're taking the hold the first time and they're moving, and they're just trusting that they're in the right spot. Whereas, you know, earlier we saw, I think was it Maya? She came out and climbed really, really slow, really smoothly, but she checked every hold, and she didn't have any issues with pinging or anything that kind of popped off. So actually, maybe, although we look at these holds and they look pretty good, maybe they're not actually as good. They, you know, not all plastic holds are good. So.
But that's what you've been talking about. That sometimes it pays off to move really quickly.
Yeah, you
and
know,
be precise.
Look at, you know, Maya will be stood in the crowd now, you know, totally amazed at how well she's done after probably not thinking she'd actually actually put in that good a result. And you know, look at all the people that have qualified ahead of her that have dropped off way lower. So yeah, I think currently she's sat in what?
Maya is
third place. Yeah. So again, she's moved all the way up onto the podium from where she qualified, just because she took her time and really went for that tactic of staying on the wall, using all your time. So it'll be interesting to see if maybe the ladies that have qualified high up, we've got some super strong ladies that'll come out, and I reckon will really go for it, and maybe it'll pay off and they'll get a top, but maybe we'll have a few more disastrous pings where just low down you get spat off the route. So.
Yeah. We're going to see Francisca. She's coming last for women.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see how we go with the last few ladies. Like, will they come out and absolutely storm it? I hope so. It's always good to see.
We have last 3, so might be. Yeah.
I think, you know, like I said earlier, Marianne is definitely a favorite. She don't necessarily think she climbs the fastest, but she climbs really well. Olga Kosik is just an absolute beast. She's probably one of my favorite climbers to watch because everything looks easy.
Okay.
It's just so cool to watch somebody absolutely demolish every route. Like, don't get me wrong, climbing fast and climbing strong can end in disaster, as we've seen. But when she gets it right and it all goes to plan, she just makes everything look easy. And she's almost untouchable. I remember watching her in Finland, actually earlier this year, February, and the finals route was horrible, and she just waltzed up a lot of it. So, yeah, we'll see how they get on.
Olga, she's from Poland, as well as Jan.
Yeah, so teammates here.
Yeah, we are seeing him right now. He's wearing a head torch.
Yeah, it is allowed. You know, it can be hard when it's dark. You know, sometimes just seeing that good sweet spot on the holds can make the difference between falling off it and not. So, actually, maybe not a bad move. I don't think you see it a lot, so it'll be interesting. Jan's definitely one of these climbers that he climbs his way. You know, head torch, one thing. He uses his own custom axes that he's built himself, which aren't kind of like a a mainstream brand. Again, Jan's the guy I was mentioning earlier that owns the company Kuźnia Speju. He's an amazing metal worker, makes a lot of picks for the competition competitors, makes the holds. So, he's really dedicated to the sport, really is involved. So it'll be interesting to see how he gets on here. He's qualified really well. We'll see how he climbs. It'll be it must be funny knowing that you built the hold that you're climbing on in the competition.
It might feel like a cheating.
We'll
I'm
see.
not saying it is, but
I hope
it
he
might
doesn't
feel.
fall off it. That would be bad. So yeah, you can see these custom axes. He's got like 3 triggers on them. They really look
okay.
radical. But he's the only person that climbs with them, obviously, and they seem to work for him. So he must be doing something right. I don't wonder if that head torch is a bit of a distraction when you're really trying to focus and you've just got this one beam. Hey, if it works for him, we'll see. Again, like every athlete that's come onto this part of the route, they're checking the holds, but they're also trying to take them with the hands. Those stones, sometimes they're just better with the hands.
Yeah. And if you're also a rock climber.
Yeah, if you've got the strength to bear down on the hold, you can totally change how you approach it. We'll see how he does this crack now, shall we?
We can see the photograph hiding behind the wall. That's funny.
Doesn't look like he's quite sure what to do here. Matching a lot of the holds. Is he going to try and skip it maybe?
Let's see.
He's going for it.
Yeah, he's crossing.
So crossing is dangerous because you've got to load that hand completely. Oh, I don't know if we're gonna have. He looks like he's solid in there. We'll see.
Yeah, it looks like he's putting a lot of his weight on his legs. So
that was good. He made that all right.
Cool.
Definitely.
No way.
Oh God, to make it through that crux move and then fall off what personally I don't even know why he fell off there. That was he did so well in that crack move. It looked so strong. Oh, he'll be so angry. After cruising that hard move, the last thing you want to do is a lapse of concentration, and it just looks like he didn't take the hold right. And again.
Yeah, but that sometimes happens when you're concentrating on the really hard move. Then you do the move, and you lost a little bit of that concentration.
Especially in, I think even maybe more so in ice climbing, you're on a hold, you move to the next one, you're so focused on taking that next hold correctly that you forget you need to hold the previous ice axe exactly where it needed to be. And as you transfer that weight, a quick lapse of concentration and that previous hand pings, and sometimes you stick it, and sometimes you move on to the other hold, and sometimes you don't. So yeah, definitely trying to think of multiple things at once is important. Yeah, he doesn't look happy with his result there. That's
yeah, let's see where this put his. We don't see the results yet.
I actually think he's come into here. So
oh, he's third.
So he's come up into third, but that'll only be because we had 2 or 3 really low down pings.
Yeah.
Again, that 13th hold in that.
And the two at the crack.
Yeah, matching the crack. I think the Marco where he came in with both hands, and again Gabriel.
And as we said before, we are getting to the last 3 women competitors.
Yeah, this is where it's going to get exciting.
First of them is Marianne from Netherlands. She won last week.
Yeah, she won last week, so she'll be coming out with the confidence of a gold medal. She'll really want to go again, and she'll want to stand on top of that podium for sure. So it'll be interesting to see how she climbs here. Will she completely attack the start of the route, or maybe just try and stay on the wall and take her time? She always climbs fairly sustainably. Like she climbs at a nice sustained pace. She doesn't rush. A lot of technique, a lot of experience. So when she gets on these holds, I don't think she'll necessarily have to really climb fast because she's already quite a quick climber. So it might work in her favor, to be honest. But to be honest, I've said that 3 or 4 times now. We've lost ladies at the 3rd clip. So hopefully she can keep it together and
Yep.
put us up a new high point.
But that's the funny thing, you know, always when you're commentating and you say things like that.
I feel like I'm cursing them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They'll all watch this back tomorrow and I'll get a message being like, it's your fault. I know, I can hear it. Again, another climber with those carbon fiber A speeds. So a super lightweight tool, a big reach on them. Being really careful with this hold here. She doesn't taking her time. Yeah, you can really see how bad that next hold is. It really just doesn't want to grip. You've got to really pull it up and to the left.
It's better we seen Haruko try the figure 4, right?
Yeah, I think trying to come up into that hold, you obviously is a big move up into it, and it's a bad hold. Really, so obviously, that experience is paying off for recognizing the exact spot you need to hold onto that hold. She's absolutely flying here. Just doesn't even. I don't even think she's paused for a quick shake. She's cruising.
What about the bolts in the hold? Can you use them? Is it allowed? Like use the bolt?
You mean the?
Yeah, the metal thing.
So
like the screw or?
Well, to be honest, I don't think you'd be able to use them. It would be out for your ice axes. So anything that's not a hold is out for your ice axes. So you can't hit the ply with your ice axes like you were ice climbing. You can't strike it. Actually, you can't strike any holds. You can, you can't hook around the edges of the wall. It's fairly common sense. You know, anything that you would think is not really climbing the route is out for your ice axes. But again, like I said earlier, this venue has a lot of weird stuff. So we've got concrete, we've got plywood, we've got volumes, we've got metal. And I think just to make ease of the route setters' stress levels, they just say, right, if you can use it with your feet, you can use it. We don't care. So I guess it allows a lot of options for that footwork.
Yeah, Marianne is safely to the 12th quick draw.
Yeah, she'll be coming into this roof very soon, so having a little slow down here just to check out the holds. Probably get her arms back a little bit, but she doesn't look like she's struggling. I'm really impressed with how she's climbed so far.
She doesn't even look fatigued.
No, she's so strong. You can see that she's still got that turn and that pull in her arm.
Yeah.
She's not having to twist in and get her weight off her arms yet. She's still, full afterburner.
Little shake now, that's clever.
Yeah, I think it's the time to do it. If you're going to do it, you're not going to do it later.
Let's see where she decides to clip.
So she's a little bit over half of her time taken, so she's doing really well. She's definitely got time to top here if she wanted to. Oh, it's a struggle with that clip.
No, that's gonna cost a lot of energy.
So you can see she's on the low handle of her axe there. It would have been much easier if she'd gone the high handle, but she's managed it, and she's moving on to the next hold, so I don't think that's phased her too much.
Yeah, hopefully she can recover now.
Come on, Marianne. This is so good, so smooth. No trouble with that one.
It's nice to see somebody on the cube again. Hopefully we can see some head wall action.
I think she's looking really good, not only time-wise, but she, like you said, she just doesn't look tired here. She's shaking out, totally under control. You can hear the crowd getting louder as she gets through this roof.
Nice.
Yeah, so easy. I think we've got a really, really good chance of having. Look at that flexibility there.
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
Oh, that hurts to look at. Nice, so strong. So it looks like she's taking this hold a little bit differently from how everybody else has. So we'll see if it pays off. If she keeps that pick really still, it looks like she's pretty solid just now. It'll be moving off of it that'll be the struggle, I think.
She can't really wobble around right now.
No, she's not got a lot of movement, but she's going for the fig 4.
Whoa.
Haruko did the exact same, and she looks like she's absolutely cruising. She's holding it. Come on. Oh, she's still on. She's just keeping the crowd on their toes. I love it.
A little action for the spectators.
So she is slowly eating up the time, but she's definitely got a little bit left.
Mm.
I think there's enough time to see a new high point here. She's looking really good.
Very nice.
So I think here, these volumes are not really seen. Speaking with the route setters earlier, it was exactly what you were talking about earlier with those plates, with the holes in them. And I think there's some really nasty, nasty plates, not good holds.
We can't even see them right now.
No, you don't really know what we're, like, and she won't either. She won't know what she's hooking onto. She'll be totally flying blind. She's got time to top this, I think, if she gets a shift on. Come on, Marianne, you can do that. Oh, God. Ping. But what an awesome effort. That was mega.
Yeah, and it was new high point, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It'd be funny to see her reaction here. Will she be really happy that she made it through the roof, or will she be disappointed she didn't top, you know?
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
She won't know that she's in first place at the moment. Yeah, you could really tell the experience just paying off there for her, so she's doing brilliant. She should be happy.
Yeah, she doesn't know how the other competitors did, so she's soon gonna find out.
Yeah, she'll go and see her friends in the crowd and
Yeah, I'm gonna
get
tell
the good
her.
news. Yeah, she'll be excited in a minute. It'll be nerve-wracking watching the last two ladies come out now, though. So
We have the 3 last men. Basil Fetet.
yeah, Vasil, he's mega strong. I know I've said that about every competitor, and realistically it's true, but this guy is a monster. I remember watching him in Liechtenstein. We had these big wooden barrels that you had to kind of strike into. And I just remember watching him campus the whole thing like it was nothing. And just, yeah, again, definitely not the tallest competitor on the circuit, but he definitely makes up for it with his biceps. So we'll see how he cruises through this techie section, because it's maybe not his forte.
Yep. The hold.
I think qualification 4, there was some really nasty holds at the start today. And I think he just rock climbed the whole start, like 5 or 6 moves, 1, 2, 3, 4, absolutely no problem. You see there on that really nasty undercut that people have had problems with, just no issue whatsoever. So
It's nice to see.
yeah, if you can keep it together and not ping off one of these nasty holds, I think if he can get into that roof, he's going to have a really good time up there. I think it's going to really suit his style.
Yeah, but we can't forget the crack.
No, this is true. You don't really know what's going to happen there, eh? It's always nice to have a curveball.
Yeah. I think he needs to clip.
Yeah, it looks like he's kind of... I don't think he's passed it yet, but he's definitely... Has he noticed? Yeah, he's noticed. There we go.
But that's the thing that somebody can tell him from the crowd, right? They can tell him to clip.
Yeah, so I guess it kind of becomes a risk factor as well. You know, the people down on the ground, especially the judges and stuff, they don't want anybody to get hurt. And
Yeah, that's true.
You know, sometimes the runouts can be fairly big already. You don't need to be extending it by not telling a competitor to clip. It's not going to change. It's not going to give them an advantage. Everybody knows you need to clip.
Yep.
And if it's easy to climb past it, you know, especially with ice axes, you're doing such big moves, and you know you can span 3 meters in one go. And you've skipped 2 clips by accident, so no, he's done well to clip it, and it doesn't look like he's it didn't look like it was accidental. So
And sometimes the rope also can get unclipped. Like it happens at the last Czech Cup and the lead cup.
yeah,
Because the rope wasn't clipped properly.
yeah, it's easy to do it
And
the
then
wrong way around.
yeah, and it was like I think it was the 3rd quick draw, and she was really high.
Yeah, that.
So if she had fall, it would be to the ground. It was crazy.
It's such a you know, obviously there's always some risk in climbing.
Yeah.
But like you normally when you clip a clip, you think it's going to stay there, but no, for sure there is that risk. So he's just cruised through that crux there, not an issue at all. And I actually think he's had his hands on the hold more than he's had his ice axes, so clearly a strong rock climber. Just checking that hold, making sure he's got the right spot. Didn't look completely convinced first go, but he's committing to it. And again, going for it with his hand.
To me, it looks like it helps a lot if you are like well around it and you can climb, like a rock climb, because like even the changing the grips helps you.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, there's loads of things where it crosses over. The ability with good footwork. You know, we've seen lots of people today where they're able to step through it again, like Basil just
like
there,
that,
great
yeah.
example. Rather than just kick, and you can almost tell those that rock climb in the way that they move. And like you said, being able to move your hands around your axes and climb on the holds with your hands definitely is an advantage. But there is definitely techniques that you just can't learn through rock climbing alone.
Of course, yeah.
It's always interesting seeing rock climbers that have never experienced ice climbing try it. I think there was a good video from the World Championships last year where I think Magnus Mitbo,
Yeah, I've seen that, yeah.
he came out and don't get me wrong, that guy is ridiculously strong. But just having an absolute nightmare with just the technical aspect of the sport. The learning of the way to take the holds and how to hold the ice axes and where to put them, and you know it can be confusing. It's there's so much more to it than just being strong. Not only you got to be good, you got to be strong, and you got to be smart.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's great to see when somebody gets all those three things and it all goes to plan. But yeah, Brazil, yeah, really good decision, I would say.
Yeah, now we can see how the men approach it a bit differently than the woman.
Yeah, it's definitely it looks a little bit scrappier. You know, the guys are clearly, you know, this guy wants to go to the top. Not quite as delicate and as acrobatic on the fig fours, but the power that comes through and the way that, you know, they can transfer from one to the other really quickly, without really too much of an issue. See what he does here. Yep, going for the fig four here. No issue there. Still looking mega strong.
Do the nasty hold.
He's taking it really straight on.
Yeah.
Looks like there's quite a lot of movement in that axe. Must not be a good hold, but he seems pretty confident in it. Again, yeah, you can see the difference there, you know, just locking off and pulling straight through to that hold, whereas almost every woman's fig forward that move. Oh,
whoa.
He's keeping it together.
There was a lot of movement.
Awesome. This is so cool when, you know, somebody just about loses it but pulls it back together. See if he can keep it under control here, keep his feet on. He's yeah, again, cutting loose whenever he can. Clearly no issues with the strength here.
Well, also matching the holds with the ice axis. That's crazy.
It'll be difficult here, a lot of movement going on, just trying to get his hands set up the right way.
And metal thingy.
Yeah, so Marianne got pinged off of this. I think getting too high on it is really risky. We'll see what he does here. Again.
He's fallen at the same place as Marianne.
Really tricky move that. I don't actually know if there's a hold on that second blue volume or if it's straight into the undercut, but yeah, that looks difficult. But a very different approach there, but again, same sort of high point as Marianne from the ladies, so yeah, really cool to see.
And that sends him to the lead.
Yeah, really good effort. He definitely, the way that he climbed that, really interesting techniques, lots of using the hands, making sure that he made it as easy as possible and as much his style as he could, so yeah, really cool to see. Really good effort.
Yeah, right now we're gonna see Olga Kosek from Poland.
Yeah, Olga's been super focused all day. She qualified really well. I think she topped 4 routes out of the 5. Yeah. She usually, when she makes finals, it's kind of like for her, she tends to shut down, go quiet, gets focused. So I saw her earlier in isolation, and you know, you could see she was a woman on a mission. So she'll be ready to come out and give it all here. So I think, especially after last week, I don't think she performed as well as she wished. fell victim of that bad hold, and I think today she'll come out really maybe a little bit more careful, checking every hold, but I think yeah, she's ready to go to the top. So she's so strong this year. We were training in Krakow earlier this week, and yeah, just looks like she's on top of her game at the moment. So it'll be really interesting to see how she gets on. I really hope she gets out what she deserves.
Yeah, she came 5th last week, but earlier this year she was 2nd at the British Ice Climbing Championships.
Yeah, she came across, as did some other European athletes, and we had again a kind of flat wall very similar to this, and then into multiple boxes. Probably one of the longest box routes many of the athletes have seen for a long time. I guess that's my kind of cruel side of route setting coming out. But yeah, a massive traverse through the roof, lots of good holds, but really exhausting climbing, and she pulled it to bits. She did absolutely amazing, and yeah, it was only a few holds off. Oh god.
No, and we lost her really early.
I think that's 3 or 4 of them we've lost there on that hold.
Yeah.
Oh, what a disaster for Olga. Again, so frustrating, you know. She'll have set up, she'll have been so prepared to get so much further.
For sure.
And after last week pinging, and then this week, oh, what a shame. Like, she looks so under control there. Just those holds must be so much worse than we think they are. A wee wave, she's happy enough. She knows what it's like, you know, the experienced competitors. They know it can happen. She'll shrug it off and she'll come back stronger. It's all experience.
Yeah, this is really interesting. I'm gonna see Benjamin next for the men.
Yeah, so I think Benjamin came 2nd in the World Championships. Definitely on the podium. Really fast climber. Like a lot of the Swiss climbers, they really train to climb fast. So I think this will be all or nothing as an attempt. I think he'll come out and he'll blast the route. And the risk is that you go fast and you fall off. But I think a lot of the really strong guys, that is their mentality, that if you climb slow, you're never going to reach the top. You're never going to, you know, it's the same result. Climb fast and risk falling off is the same result as climbing slow and not making it high enough. And I do think, yeah, Benjamin will come out with an all or nothing kind of way of climbing. So it'll be interesting to see, actually, because I think this route maybe at the start is not the friendliest for that.
Yeah.
But again, the Swiss train a lot on stone holds, a lot of granite holds. So this is, you know, it's his territory at the start of that. It'll be really interesting to see if he, you know, with loads of confidence, just cruises through every single move.
Yeah, that might be an advantage for him.
And for sure, if he gets to those boxes, he's super fit. He's really good with the Fig 4s, Fig 9s, training in places like Saas-Fee, where, you know, the majority of the route is in the ceiling. I think he's got a really good chance of getting the new high point, and if not, really going for it. So let's see how he attacks this route. Hopefully he can stay on and get past some of the cruxes that we've seen people fall off lower.
Hopefully, yeah.
And yeah, maybe we can get him up in that roof, and he can give us a show. So Benjamin's one of the only Swiss team members climbing this year at the World Cups. Several of their kind of regulars are off doing different things this year, so I think he is planning to travel out to all the World Cups again. But I think for the first time in a long time, Switzerland won't have a full team, which is quite a surprise really, because they're usually a super powerful team. All of them that go to the World Cups are mega impressive. And it's always a great thing to go as a less experienced athlete and watch these guys show you how it's done.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and as we cannot tell by the age of the competitors, the experience are really a big part of ice climbing, right?
Yeah, definitely. You know, like okay, there is a lot of young guns in the sport, and yeah, they do pluck off good results. You know, gold medals every now and then. But again, it's that mentality. It's that I was having a chat with Marianne earlier, and that risk to reward factor is a big thing, because I think the more you climb in the competitions, the more your experience can tell you whether or not to climb fast, whether to climb slow, whether to trust your picks, whether or not.
Yep.
And I think a lot of the time, yeah, when you're new to the competitions, or you know, young, fit, and really keen, you'd rather come out and give it everything and win dramatically, like really like blow it to pieces, or fall off giving it everything. So yeah, there's definitely a difference in it, and you can really tell in the age, especially with, you know, how many sports have got, you know, some of the best in the world that realistically are 30, 40 years old. And it's so cool to see, because it just shows that actually being good is worth so much more than just being strong.
Yeah, that's nice to see.
But yeah, definitely a large contingency of, you know, younger climbers coming through and now having a massive load of experience. You know, they're starting younger, they're now getting world champions at 20 years old, because they started 10 years ago. They started playing with ice axes at 10 years old. They're super strong, but they've got that experience level that maybe in the past only the older category climbers had. It was good today to see, I think the Czech comp, they had the youth categories for the Czech climbers, which is really cool. And they invited all the other youth climbers to come along, although it's not part of the European Cup. Still gives those young climbers a chance to come along and experience this level of climbing and this sort of experience of climbing. So
yeah, that's nice.
Benjamin's going for both hands in the crack here. It's been the downfall of 2 or 3 climbers now. He's not looking comfortable. We'll see what he does. Oh, come on. You can do this. Come on. Oh, it's hard to watch. Yeah, he's done it. I think he's through. Almost.
Not yet.
Oh, there we go. He'll be pleased to be off of that. Back onto his ice axes.
Yeah, if he wants to secure the podium, he needs to do at least 14.3 or higher.
Yeah, so he's only about halfway to that goal so far.
It's a long way to go.
I do think this first section has kept them quite slow, though. Every competitor's no one's come through and absolutely gone through a blistering pace. Although this traverse, they definitely seem to accelerate here. So we'll see how Benjamin gets on with these what we call the pancakes. They're notoriously pretty bad holds, but
but we haven't lost anybody here, so hopefully he can make it through.
Yeah, I think he'll be okay here. Good footwork, really leaning back on that hold, giving his picks the right direction so that there's no opportunity for it to slip. Yeah, so strong there. You can see how he just moves upwards on that hold. The feet move without really having to think about it too much. Really autonomous. It's really good to see. And I think that's what makes the Swiss team so fast. They're so good at taking a hold and just they keep looking at the pick and the feet just move behind them without really too much thought. You can see just staring at that pick, but his feet are moving into the perfect place without any concept of, you know, looking at them. So super strong shoulder move here. Yeah, no problems with him. Interesting there. He looked like he was going to come from underneath on that hold, but he's switched back round to a regular grip, and yeah, no issues there. That was close though. I think this gap here between the plywood can be really tricky because you can't kick the concrete. And exactly like that.
Exactly, yeah.
And that little gap where, you know, you don't have the small steps, you have to take that big step, you have to really pull on that arm. Although he's through it. It'll be good to see him in the roof, because I really think if Benjamin can get into the roof, he'll start to really accelerate, really push through those moves. Really his style.
Do you think he's gonna like more like campus it or use the figure fours?
I think he'll probably go figure fours. You know, he's experienced at it. It's the most efficient way. but you never know what these athletes are going to do until they do it. You know, it can be surprising no matter how much you've seen them climb before.
Yeah.
I think he'll keep his feet on here.
Yeah. To clip.
Oh,
Oh,
no,
no.
he's going for it. He must be feeling fresh. Again, he sits up no problem there to sit really high and clip that clip. Obviously, lots of core.
He's moving pretty effectively here.
Yeah, no wasting the time there. Straight into that fig 4, and he's going to probably just go straight up to the next hole without a rest. Yeah, he made that look easy. Great to see. Takes his feet out, no problems. He's not concerned at all.
Hanging on just one hand.
It's risky, but you know, sometimes just getting your feet out from your fig 4s can be tricky, and you can waste a lot of time. Like if you know you can hold it, then yeah, I think that was actually probably quite a smart move. It looks a bit scrappy, but he didn't struggle. And again, locking that off and straight into that move where so many people have struggled, he just looks like he's cruising.
Yeah, cutting his feet again.
Super
Easily.
dynamic. Yeah, he's not worried at all. But these holds here, I'm not so sure he'll get away with as easily. So he'll have to slow the pace and really just take his time here.
Be precise.
Oh, he's kept it together. Oh, I don't know how he's still on.
What?
Oh my God.
He almost did
Come on,
like a
Benjamin.
360.
Oh God, he nearly lost both tools there. That was
No.
gnarly. He put it back together though. That was impressive. I don't know how he didn't just give himself a rotator cuff injury. That was madness.
Because what we are seeing in the roof, that's the concrete, right?
Yeah, you
use
can't
it.
kick there. You
Yeah.
can't do anything. You just literally, like he did, just hang about and do nothing. He's kept it together. Oh, and he's
No
oh my-
way.
Oh. Well, that was exciting.
Oh.
I think he'll be given the point for taking the hold on the next volume, though, because it looks like he definitely touched it, and he might even get the 2 for kind of holding it. So
But that was definitely the high point,
yeah,
right?
definitely
Yeah.
the high point. He moved up. He you know, oh, what a spectacle! It's a shame to see him fall off, really, because although it was scrappy, I reckon he had enough juice in the tank to finish it off there. So awesome. He'll have a laugh about that later.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he got given the hold there. Again, it's a weird thing where if you remove the previous ice axe from the previous hold, even if you just swing onto that next hold and you fall off, you're given the point for it. You've committed. Effectively, the only thing connecting you to the wall is that hold. So, yeah, he did well to get that hold, and that puts him a whole hold ahead of everybody else that maybe gets there and touches it or whatever. So he's done really, really well there.
Yeah, are we gonna see a top here?
Who knows?
Who knows? Is Francisca the one who's gonna show us how to do it?
Yep, so again, another Swiss climber, mega strong, super fast, I think 3rd in the World Championships this year, oh well, last season, in Saas-Fee. I remember watching her climb on the roof. That made it look easy, you know, the Fig 4s, Fig 9s, no issues whatsoever. And to get to that roof in Saas-Fee, it's such a long way to climb, and you've got to climb so fast. So again, this could really suit her. Definitely one for a very likely chance of getting really high. You can see she's off to a blistering start. So, but we've said that about many of the athletes tonight, and they've pinged off on these first few holds where they've maybe just rushed and just not taken their time. So hopefully we can have another new high point.
We know that the first part can be sketchy.
Again, every movement's quick, you know, even just the kind of moving your hands around the ice axes, or even just like bringing the axe up to the next hold is quick. And you know, if you can save half a second on every single time you take the ice axe out of your mouth and move, you know, by the time you get to the top, it leaves you with another 30 seconds.
Whoa, there was a little hesitation and that got me scared.
I think the start of this route is much worse than we originally thought it was.
Yeah,
and
probably. But it was Marion. She just cruised the first part.
She didn't even look like she tried on the first part. You know, she came out what? She came out first, absolutely annihilated it, and then, you know, she'll be sitting there going, I don't know how I'm, you know, she'll have spoken to Marianne and she'll have watched her and know that she's only currently sitting second, but she'll be going, I'm likely
she's
to take
taking podium for
she's
sure.
taking podium for sure.
Yeah.
So she'll be super happy to have, you know, gone from 9th to minimum 3rd. So really, really cool. It'll be interesting tomorrow. A lot of the athletes will return to the structure just to train on the routes.
Yeah.
And it'll be interesting to see a lot of the ladies. They'll probably come back and try this final again and just see them probably kick themselves where, you know, they'll no pressure, no rush, no stress. They'll take the holds and they'll be like, why did I fall off this? Oh, you just saw her pick just slide a little bit there. So she's kept it under control.
Crossing over.
This will be tricky if she's crossing. She's crossing from 2 side pools there, but again, yeah, no issue. Back under control.
Get this undercling. Once they get it right, it seems nice.
Yeah, with the Stein, so obviously she's pulling down the way there, but you can see as she moves up, she takes the head of the axe off the wall and levers it up the way. It allows a lot bigger reach, but it's super strenuous, you know, those undercut moves where you're going from a Stein up the way, they're classically called Stein ups. Basic, but it makes sense, you know, you are moving upwards on what a hold is designed to be pulled downwards, and it really requires you to push through your feet, pull your core really tight, and lift up on that ice axe, and it can be exhausting, especially if you're moving to a really accurate hold. It doesn't take much to miss the hold and you fall back into the Stein, and then you go back up, and then you go back down. And it doesn't take many goes before you're knackered and can't even hold the Stein up position, so she's done really well there to just cruise it first time.
Save some energy. Gonna need it.
Again, no issues getting past that break in the plywood there.
She's having nice pace.
Yeah, she's definitely ahead of, I would say she's very on line with Marion in terms of pace here. The thank God jug. It'll get there and be like, yeah, I can have a shake here, I can rest. But no rest for her, she's going straight for it.
Yeah.
On a mission.
Let's see where she clips.
Top here, I think.
Haven't seen anybody here yet.
You can see that top hold just out of reach. She needs to make another move or two. She's on an undercut here and shaking out. Like, the strength to hold this stress position is crazy. She's going for the move. Oh, she hits it first time as well. We're going to see a top.
Whoa. This is amazing.
You can hear the
Come
crowd.
on.
Come
No.
on. Keep it together. Come on. She's got it.
That's epic.
There you go, ladies and gents. That's how it's done. You qualify first place and finish up first place as well. A top. Amazing.
Amazing. That's a first place for sure.
So cool. In time as well. There you go. The route setters will be happy, and she'll be over the moon.
Yeah. And as we said, it's doable. It's possible.
Yeah, it just shows that, like, you know, if you keep that pace up at the start, you're not worried about those starting holds, and then she cruised through. So this will be good. This will be Virgil Devin from France. He's yeah, really quick climber. Climbs with lots of confidence. To be fair, it was to his downfall last week, but if he can stay on the wall and keep his picks on those holds, again, we've got a really good chance of seeing a top here. If anybody can do it, this guy can for sure.
Yeah, and I can see he's used to getting to the finals.
Yeah, last year he had a blistering year in the European Cup, multiple gold medals. I think he won the Cup overall. He had a great time in Saas-Fee in the World Championships.
He won here in Brno as well last year.
Yeah, won last year for sure. So, yeah, this guy, he'll mean business, and he'll want to see a top. You know, he won't just want to win; he'll want to see a top because I think he knows he's good enough. So,
And he probably heard the crowd, so
Yeah, he'll
he
know that it's
might-
possible.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think that's quite nice, you know, especially with the male and female, the female and male categories sharing the top half of the route. Yeah, you've got that same spectacle, you've got that same excitement at the end
Yeah,
there
that's
as you come through the
that's
box.
true.
It just means everybody knows that, yeah, if this guy can get to that middle section, again, it's possible. Quick start. He's not struggled with any of these bad holds yet, so.
Yeah, let's see what he thinks about the crack.
Yeah, you never really know. I can't remember the last time we saw something like this in competitive ice climbing. So
But have we seen anybody to skip it?
I don't think anybody skipped it yet. I think the route setters have done a really good job in kind of forcing that movement. And definitely everybody that's climbed it, I think in the way that it was set with that right hand jammed in the crack, crossing over to the next stone hold, has made it with actually quite a lot of ease. Whereas everybody that's tried to double stack their hands in it is just fallen victim, just slid out of it.
That's true.
So we'll see what he does. He's
using the right hand first.
yeah, here we go.
And now,
Oh, it looks like he's going to go for the double.
oh,
Risky. Doesn't look happy there.
I'm not happy either.
Oh, I can't watch. Oh, no,
my
he's
God,
got it
come
solid.
on.
There we go. As long as he gets this stone. And he's off again. There we go. Yeah, it must be a weird experience to be up there being like, oh, thank God I'm back on my axes.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the axe is quite a good hold, you know. when
Yeah,
you're
it's a big jug.
holding. Yeah,
But it's crazy. You can
it's
be
crazy. Yeah.
you can be holding on to these massive handles, and yet you get so unbelievably pumped.
Yeah,
you
I know.
It's
It's
just
crazy.
It's just bonkers. You know, if someone gave you that size of hole in a rock climbing route, you'd thank them. But honestly, you know, you can see competitors literally holding on till their fingers give up. And I think a lot of it's to do with the kind of the stressful position. You can see here, Virgil just now, you know, you have to hold that hand still and kind of gyroscopically move your whole body
Yeah,
around
yeah.
it.
Not wobble with your hand.
Your hand stays still and the whole body has to move. So there's a lot of stress positions where, you know, you're really pushing through your toes, through your core, and your shoulders are doing a lot of work. So even if you don't mean to, I think you squeeze your hands really, really hard. So yeah, they're good holds, but it isn't as easy as it looks. I can promise you that.
Yeah, for sure.
So one or two more moves and he'll be into the kind of joint section. I'm pretty sure he's got plenty of time here.
This is a little bit sketchy as well.
Yeah, looks like he's had no problems there.
Yeah.
Just got to watch your feet here, but he's got that high foot into that ply. Yeah, he's past that gap now. So I think if he takes the 14th quick draw and pretty much the hold that's next to it, he'll be guaranteeing himself a place on the podium. So he's coming up on it. But I think if he gets into those boxes, which I think is where that 14th draw is, we're definitely going to see him go past it. You know, we're definitely going to see him up in 15, 16, probably 17 without any struggle. And then really it'll be the top head wall that'll be the decider here.
17, that's where Benjamin and Basil get.
Yeah.
14, Dennis on the third place right now.
He gets that clip. He's looking fairly relaxed.
Clipping this quick draw. He's getting to podium.
There we go.
So worst, he's gonna come third
Yeah,
right now.
you know, he doesn't know it yet, but he's done well. He just now he'll be looking to the top, going, right, how far do I have to climb to stay where I am? So
Yeah. And now it's gonna get sketchy.
oh, that was interesting. Trying to take that hold with the hand.
That was his first.
he's just going to lock this off and pull through. Yeah, no issues there. So this is where it's going to get interesting.
Yeah, we have seen this with a few competitors before.
Yeah, that cut loose is definitely the kind of guy's style more than the ladies to you know, not use your feet as much, just pull through, cut your feet off and yeah, get into those fig fours.
Clipping the 17th quick draw.
Yep, so he's clipped that 17th now. I think we're just waiting to see what's next. So I think if he takes the next hold, he's going to beat Basil here.
Yes, I think so, yeah.
And it's just going to be a case of if he can get past this next section without pinging that left hand. Oh, it's so hard to watch. He's got that hold. Oh,
no way, no way.
He's still on. I
yeah,
don't
but
know.
the X moves.
I think the axe moved there.
Yeah.
I think that could be a technical. It looks like he slipped off the hold. His axe has gone into the volume rather than onto the hold.
That's how I felt.
I think that'll be a tough call for the judges there.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm not the judge.
Yeah, I don't think I'd want to be, because that will be the deciding factor here of whether or not he takes a first or not.
And we can see a photographer.
Oh, and he's off there.
Okay, so now I don't know what's gonna happen. We have to wait for the results.
Yeah, brilliant effort, but that is going to be a really, really close call on what the judges decide to do, whether they award him the point or award him the hold.
He might be first.
Yeah, it's either a first or a second for sure. I have a feeling he's probably secured the first, because I think he took the hold, the axe ripped,
before,
which will have given him that hold. And even if then that axe slipped onto the volume, he'll still be awarded the point before he was technically disqualified. So I reckon he's just about done it, but regardless, amazing effort. And yeah, no top from the men, but a top from the ladies, so super, super close.
Yeah. We are not gonna be streaming the ceremony, so for the woman, it's for sure now that Francesca is taking the first, Marian is second, and third is Marion. And what about the men? Can we see the results? Not yet. Right?
Let's have a look. So yeah, they have awarded Virgil the points. They've not disqualified him from it. They've given him the 19th draw.
That's weird.
Yeah, I don't know if it was the 19th.
No, I don't think so. Because 19th that was for Francesca.
Yeah.
This is weird.
I think there might just be a bit of a mistake here. I'm looking up at the route here just to see.
I'm a bit confused right now.
Yeah, I'm really not sure what.
Because I think he clipped just the 17th.
I think maybe that just might be a typo. So maybe it would make sense if that was a 17 instead of a 1937. I think he's probably got the 17th quick draw as he did, and then he's made that 37th hold, and they've given it to him. So currently the scores are looking like Virgil's going to take the gold, but again, there may be a close call with the judges, but who knows?
Yeah, so probably Virgil in taking the first, Benjamin second, and Basil is third.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's it. Thank you for watching. And we are probably saying bye from Brno.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for listening, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.